least, added some great new clients to the always incredible group of clients I've had for a long, long time. So I've been focusing much more on them and making sure they continue to learn that fitness is our business. And of course, reaching the goals that they've set for themselves. And they're all doing great. No two ways about it. But I wanted to record this episode for a specific reason. Because one thing, and I'll be honest with you, all coaches run into this. They see this, and if they're anything like me, and truly passionate about what they're doing, it's a red flag. It's definitely something rather alarming when you hear people say this, and it's when people tell me they're just not interested, meaning not necessarily not interested in coaching, which could very well be, but not interested in taking care of themselves. Now, they may not come out and say it, but I've been doing this long enough now to be able to read between the lines. And they frankly don't want to take care of themselves. And I've run into that in a couple instances lately. And frankly, it's rather alarming. Not necessarily because they don't want coaching. Hey, if you don't want coaching, it is what it is. There's other people who do. I can focus my time there. But it's the fact that they're not interested in taking care of themselves for whatever reasons they may be. They may be too afraid. They may think, they can't do it, or they've tried it before and failed. So why even bother? To be honest, I've heard all the excuses. I made all the excuses because I said all those things when I was heavy, when I was overweight. But I can tell you one thing. All those years that I was overweight and unhealthy, I can tell you for a fact that deep down, I wanted to take care of myself. I really did. Didn't know how, was too afraid, was too disappointed in myself, felt way too helpless to want to take care of myself, to take control of my health and well-being. But I deep down wanted to take care of myself. And I hope that the people I've spoken to have shared this with me feel the same way. But to hear people say they're not interested in taking care of themselves is frankly alarming. It really is. Let me share a question with you, because you hear me talk a lot about, and other coaches as well talk about, some of the most important factors when it comes to really taking control of your health and well-being are knowledge and accountability. And they're still true, and they will remain true. But there's one other one, and that's the need to take care of ourselves, the understanding of the importance of taking care of ourselves, not just for the obvious, to feel, to lose weight, to gain muscle, to fit better in our clothes, to have more energy, all those that are great, great goals, but everybody wants those. It's the understanding that we only have one life to live. And frankly, I want to live as long as humanly possible. I'm 54 years old. I'd like to believe I have another at least 40 years left in me, at least. I'm fine with getting to 100. And frankly, even beyond that, if somebody were to ask me, would you rather have 10 years of just quality health and well-being versus 30 years of, mediocre, average, health and well-being? I'll take the 10 years of quality health and well-being any day of the week and twice on Sunday, because it's quality. It's not just quantity. Yeah, I'd love another 30, 40 quality years, but if I had to choose one or the other, I want quality. And the only way to get that is to be at our best mentally, emotionally, and physically, and spiritually as well. Which leads me to the question I want to ask, because I mentioned a moment ago about knowledge and accountability and the importance of both. If I were to put an apple and a bag of chips, as well as a bottle of water and a can of soda in front of you right now, I'll bet my yearly salary for the next 20 years that you'll know which one you should eat and which one you should drink. I don't have to teach you anything for you to know which of those four you should select. Of course, the apple and the water. And I'll bet there isn't a person in this country who couldn't answer that question. So why is over 40% of our country's population deemed obese? Why is over 70% of our country deemed overweight? It isn't from a lack of basic knowledge. Maybe they don't understand what kind of workouts they should do, or how much protein they should eat, or how much water they should be drinking. Those are things they can certainly learn. But the most basic knowledge when it comes to health and well-being: eat fruits and veggies, eat healthy, lean proteins, move your body, walking, biking, hiking, swimming, whatever you choose to do, whatever you enjoy to do. Those are the basics that, frankly, everyone knows. I dare anyone to tell me they didn't know the answer to that question that I shared a moment ago. Yet, so many people are unhealthy in this country. And there's a lot of reasons. We won't get, I mean, I could spend the next couple of hours talking about that, but you probably don't want to listen to me yammer on for the next couple of hours. But for me, it's not necessarily the knowledge, and it's not necessarily the accountability. Let's face it, if something's important enough to us, we're going to do what it takes to make it happen. We're going to hold ourselves accountable to make sure we get that task done, that goal completed. We're going to do that if it's important enough to us. So it's not the knowledge, it's not the accountability, it's the need to versus the want to. And let's face it, folks, a lot of people don't want to. And again, there's varying reasons why, but it's scary to think that we can look in the mirror, look at ourselves if we're overweight, as I had to do many, many times over 2 decades, and pretend that what's happening isn't happening, to look in the mirror and be happy with what we see, to put on clothes that a few years ago fit us and no longer do, that getting out of bed is a challenge in and of itself, much less tackling the rest of our day. And why am I sharing those? Because that was me. See, I'm speaking from a position of firsthand knowledge, firsthand experience. That was me. The only difference is that I wanted to take care of myself. I just didn't think I could. But you've got people, and frankly, I was wrong. I could. I just didn't. I just chose not to. And that's what a lot of people are doing now. So when I say, and yes, I tout what I've done, lost 75 pounds, yada, 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 did all that. But that doesn't make me any more special than anyone else. That doesn't mean that I've done something much more extraordinary than anyone else. Not at all. And as cliche as it sounds, if I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can. But you have to do more than want it. You have to know that you need it. You have to know that in order to take care of ourselves, there are certain steps we just need to take to make it happen on a daily basis. And some steps we might enjoy and others not so much. But it's the sacrifice we make to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Take it from a professional perspective. You've got an opportunity to land a big client. There are certain steps you need to take to make that happen. And if you don't, someone else will. And that big client will go to another company, will sign with a different business. So what do? Do you just decide, I don't want to do it, I don't feel like doing it, forget it? Or do you actually put in the work? Do you actually take the steps to make that happen? Of course you do, if it's important enough to you, if it means that much to you. Our health should mean that much to us. It should mean more than anything else we have going in our lives, because frankly, it's the only thing in our lives, the only facet of our lives that impacts either positively or negatively every other facet of our life. If I were to close down the doors at Fernandez Fit today, I could go find a job elsewhere doing something to earn some fashion of some semblance of a living. I could do that. But if I don't take care of myself, everything else is impacted. Now suddenly I can't earn a living because I'm not doing well physically, maybe not mentally and emotionally either. I'm not taking care of my family. I'm not taking care of my clients. So it's important enough for me, and I have my reasons, and you, all of you need to have yours. I have my reasons for needing to do this, not simply wanting to do this. Because if we wanted to do it, everyone would. It'd be that simple. It's much like the difference between motivation and discipline. Discipline, we do it. Motivation, yeah, maybe today and not so much tomorrow. It's a need to versus a want to. You don't have to want to need to. There's a lot of things that cross our paths on a daily basis that we don't necessarily want to do, but understand we need to do because it's going to better our lives, our business, our families, whatever it may be. So when I hear people say they're not interested, that's alarming. That really is, because that just shows how little they think of themselves, how happy they are with themselves, how important they are to themselves. We as individuals need to be our number one priority. It's not selfish, it's essential. I've said it many times before, and I'll continue to say it. Because if we don't, everything else we love, everyone else we love gets hurt in the process. And sadly, too many of us need something bad to happen to come to that realization. I'm here to tell you, don't wait until then, because you might not get a second chance. Because if you don't make the decision to man up or woman up and take control of your health and well-being, I'm going to tell you, life will inevitably do it for you sooner or later. And frankly, I'd much rather have that decision in my hands. So take care of yourselves, folks. If you don't, life will. And it very rarely turns out the way you want it when life takes over. That's all I've got for you. I'm going to get off my soapbox now, but I'll get back on again. You can be rest assured of that, because more and more people need to learn about this, need to wise up and to wake up. Took me a long, long time to do both, over 2 decades. I'd rather you not wait that long. I'd rather you not make the same mistakes that I did. That's why I do what I do, to help people get to where they want to be without going down the same path I did. All right, folks, now it's on you. And of course, you ever need anything, I'm here. I'm here to always to help out, because I understand and finally understand, and sharing with everybody else in hopes they understand, that at Fernandez Fit, fitness